She betrayed me after 20 years, so I took everything without saying a word. They say betrayal cuts deepest when it comes from the one who once swore they'd never hurt you. And I felt every inch of that blade. 20 years of marriage, laughter, holidays, raising kids, building a life from scratch. And then, one message shattered it all. One careless text left on her phone. One "I miss you last night" from someone who wasn't me. I stood there, frozen, my morning coffee turning cold in my hand, while the world around me kept spinning. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I simply watched, quietly, as my life tilted off balance. I knew then this wouldn't end with a fight. No, this would end with silence, precision, and elegance. If she wanted to play with fire, I'd teach her how cold revenge could truly feel. I started noticing the signs once my eyes were open. The late meetings, the sudden interest in her appearance, the locked phone, the fake smiles. 20 years and I knew her better than she knew herself. The affair wasn't just betrayal, it was disrespect to everything we had built. I played dumb. I kissed her goodnight. I told her I loved her, and each time I watched the guilt flicker behind her eyes. She thought she was clever. She thought I was blind. But I was gathering information, building my case, one lie at a time. I didn't want drama, the quiet kind, the kind that hits when you least expect it, in a room full of people, where no one sees it coming. That was the plan. Cold, clean, final. She didn't know I had access to her emails. She didn't know I had hired someone to follow them. I knew what hotel they went to, what time they met, even what wine she preferred when she was with him. I kept every receipt, every photo, every message. But I didn't just want to catch her. I wanted to erase the image she painted of me. The boring husband, the predictable man. I started changing myself quietly, got back in shape, fixed my wardrobe, expanded my business contacts. I created a new version of myself while she thought she was fooling me. She was preparing for a new life, but so was I. Just not the one she expected. She saw me as a shadow of the man I used to be. Soon, she'd see what a mistake that truly was. She kept underestimating me. That was her greatest mistake. While she snuck around, thinking she was clever, I was rewriting our future behind the scenes. I spoke to the lawyers, not for a divorce, yet, but for asset protection. I shifted investments, created separate accounts, rerouted business shares, quietly, legally. Every move calculated. She was so busy chasing thrills that she didn't see the foundation beneath her crumbling. I even started documenting her behavior for court, discreetly, professionally. I wasn't just planning to leave. I was planning to leave her with nothing she could hold on to. No sympathy, no leverage, no reputation left to hide behind. When I was done, she'd wonder how I managed to destroy her without ever raising my voice. It was almost amusing how blind she was to the unraveling. She would come home smiling after her yoga class and kiss me on the cheek, not realizing I knew exactly where she had been. I had a copy of the hotel room invoice before she even walked through the door. She'd mention his name casually, as if he was a coworker. I smiled and played along. But each time she lied to my face, she gave me more power, more reasons, more fuel. Our comfort in the deception made her careless, and her carelessness gave me control. I wasn't acting out of anger. I wasn't burning with jealousy. I was calm, colder than she ever imagined I could be. The storm was brewing in silence, and she was dancing in the rain, unaware it was acid. My first strike was subtle. A dinner with mutual friends. I casually mentioned a few business changes, how I temporarily shifted some ownership due to stress. Just light conversation. But I saw her eyes twitch. She knew nothing about it. That wasn't the man she married, the passive, loyal, routine man. No, this version was different, strategic, sharp. I watched her smile falter as realization crept in. That night, she asked me if everything was okay. I simply kissed her forehead and said, "Everything's perfect." And it was, for me. The chessboard was in motion, and her king was already cornered. She thought she was making the moves, but I was playing the whole game 2 steps ahead. And I was just getting started. I found the perfect time to confront her without confrontation. Our anniversary. 20 years. She planned a weekend away to rekindle things. I agreed, smiling. I let her choose the location, pack our bags, book the hotel. Meanwhile, I booked another room in the same hotel for the private investigator. We arrived, smiled for the photos, clinked champagne glasses. She thought we were healing, but that night I excused myself for a walk. My investigator slipped me the final batch. Photos, timestamps, receipts, all of it. I returned to the room, calm as ever, and laid the envelope on her side of the bed. Said nothing, just handed her the truth. She opened it. Her face turned white. Still, I didn't yell. I simply said, "Happy anniversary." She didn't cry. Not at first. She denied, she stuttered, she tried to twist it. Said it was just emotional. Said I'd been distant. Classic tactics. But I stayed silent. That silence pierced her louder than any scream. I packed my bag and left the room, checked into my separate suite. The next day, she texted nonstop. Apologies, promises, desperate pleas, but I responded with one sentence. "My lawyer will contact you Monday." And that was it. No explanation, no argument, no breakdown. I let her drown in the consequences of her own decisions. She wasn't prepared for that. She wanted a reaction, but I gave her a mirror instead, and for the first time, she saw who she really was and who I had become. I didn't ghost her. I was precise. I showed up at home when I needed to. I was polite, cold, professional, like a business transaction. Our kids noticed the tension, but I shielded them from the mess. She tried to paint me as distant, but I'd already spoken to them calmly, honestly, before she had the chance. I controlled the narrative. I stayed one step ahead. She tried to recover ground, suggesting therapy, vacations, a fresh start, but every attempt was met with that same unshakable silence. I wasn't the man she could manipulate anymore. The moment she betrayed me, she gave up the privilege of my vulnerability. I wasn't hurt anymore. I was focused, and I was winning. Divorce came fast, but not chaotic. I had everything ready. The lawyer laid out every asset, every detail. She thought she'd get the house, maybe some savings. But the paperwork revealed the truth. My business was separate. Our savings were protected. Her affair, thoroughly documented, left her legally cornered. She would walk away with less than she imagined. Her face, when she realized it, was unreadable. Shock, regret, maybe shame, but no apology. It didn't matter. I didn't want closure. I wanted peace, and I got it. While she struggled to adjust, I thrived, quietly. No public drama, no social media fallout, just results. I let the facts speak louder than any revenge fantasy ever could. It didn't end there. Months passed. She reached out now and then, small talk, regret disguised as friendliness. I never blocked her. I wanted her to see the life I built without her, the new company I launched, the events I hosted, the people who respected me. I didn't flaunt it, but I didn't hide it either. Every win was a quiet echo of what she gave up. I wasn't bitter. I was reborn. She watched from the sidelines while I became everything she never believed I could be. She chose short-term pleasure over long-term loyalty. I chose evolution over destruction. And in that choice, I found power. There's a special kind of revenge in living well. No chaos, no scandals, just excellence. People started asking what happened to her. She faded while I rose. Her new man left within months. Apparently, he wasn't built for commitment. She tried dating again. But reputation follows you when truth leaks slowly. She became a shadow of herself. And I learned to love the silence, the clarity, the calm. I didn't become cruel. I became calculated. And that was enough. No one saw it coming. No one heard the crash, but everyone saw the result. That's how real power works. Quiet, absolute, unforgettable. I never told our full story to anyone, just fragments, lessons, warnings. But deep down, I know I was never her victim. I was her reckoning. She played games. I built empires, and I didn't need to ruin her to win. I just had to remove her from the equation. That's the irony. She thought I'd break, thought I'd beg. Instead, I rose, better, sharper, colder. Now, when people see me, they see the man she underestimated. And when they see her, they wonder what could have been. That's a weight heavier than revenge. That's legacy. Some nights I sit alone with a glass of wine and replay it all. Not out of sadness, out of awe, at how one act of betrayal became the catalyst for transformation. She destroyed my peace, but in doing so, revealed my strength. I don't hate her. I thank her. Because without her lies, I might have stayed small, quiet, safe. Instead, I became untouchable. That's the final chapter she'll never understand. I didn't ruin her. I outgrew her, and that truth cuts deeper than any revenge she ever feared. I didn't burn bridges. I built towers, and I made sure she'd always see them from the ruins of what she lost. So if you ever find yourself betrayed, don't scream, don't beg, don't break. Build, reinvent, elevate. Let them feel your absence louder than your presence. Let your silence echo in every corner they thought they'd own. Because the best revenge isn't pain, it's power. The kind that doesn't shout, it whispers. And in that whisper is a storm they'll never escape. That's what I became. Not her ex, not her enemy, her silence, her shadow. Her reminder that you never betray someone who was willing to walk through fire for you. Because once they rise from the ashes, you'll never reach them again.